Hello and welcome to Season 4, Episode 23, Lawfully Chaotic. Thank you for joining us tonight. Wanted to get that out before Jason interrupted.
Whoa! Whoa! What's going on?
That was epic, dude.
Wow.
Did you do a mix of ketamine and cocaine on that one, or what was that?
No.
You must have watched South Park.
Welcome to Lawfully Chaotic, Season 4, Episode 23, for those of you at normal speed. Thank you for joining us tonight, or thank you for watching after the fact on VOD. With me, as always,
on the Spotify podcast.
Or on the Spotify podcast. With me, as always, is Jason, storyteller from TTRPG Academy. And Kristen of Kristen's Epic in this corner, Kristen of Kristen's Epic Adventures. We are here to talk about gaming things.
Yes,
Go.
all the games. Let's talk about all the games. Go.
All the games.
Let's go.
Announcements. I got no new announcements. I'm still busy. Got a lot of work to do. Blah blah blah. But I did pick up a paintbrush the other day and start painting again. So Monday I'll do another Paintingly Chaotic with Andy.
Yay!
So I'm actually painting the chess set that I printed for my son. You can kind of see
chess set. That's pretty
cool.
I see the board over there a little bit.
Oh, does he know how to play already? Or are you teaching him?
Our record so far is 17-6. Him.
Oh, very nice.
I haven't taught him shit, and I don't let him win when we play games. So that should tell you. I don't know where he learned to play. I don't know where he learned.
He's a regular Bobby Fischer, is what you're saying.
I can't fucking beat him. It's ridiculous. Chess set because we've been playing on this ridiculous little minuscule party favorite chess set. It's actually kind of nice, but it's this tiny little travel chess set. So,
well, that's a smart idea to just 3D print one.
I've printed. Oh yeah, printed the whole set. It's pretty.
That's pretty sweet.
Cool. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got. What about you guys? What's going on?
I got nothing. I don't do anything but go to work.
All right, that's Jason. You got anything for us?
Jason got
the Friday Daggerheart table starts in October.
Ooh.
I've got 4 players already lined up for that one. We just kicked off our new Monday night campaign, which is now live. We play it live on YouTube and the Twitches from 4 to 7. The pirate theme one. It's also
That's right.
It's also exploring the new era known as the Age of Restoration. I will be at Strategicon in less than a week.
Wow.
That's coming up in less than a week, so I got to build out my kit that I'll be taking to that event next week.
Is that close enough for you to drive, or do you have to fly?
No, I'll probably end up taking the train into LA.
Very, very nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kurt. I know. There's a lot.
We will talk about that.
Don't trigger my trauma. They're already trying to trigger my trauma.
Oh, are you triggered? Oh, it should be a good discussion.
I've been triggered.
What are you going to do when you get to LA if you take the train? You can't walk in LA. You're going to have to rent a car.
Oh no.
You can take one of those self-driving cars. I did that in LA.
Yeah, downtown LA, I walked all the time. Downtown LA is easy.
It's called what's it called? A Wemo?
Wamo or
Wemo
or
something like that.
Show.
Is it?
I think it's a Wamo or Wami or
completely self-driving car. It's amazing.
You take a whammy. I think it's called a whammy.
It's funny.
Awesome. They're Jaguars.
Yeah, no, you're right. Downtown LA, you can walk, but nobody fucking goes to downtown LA. So.
You'd be surprised. Pre-COVID, it was the place to be. Post-COVID, I haven't been down there since. Waymo, thank you. Yes, it's Waymo.
Last time I was downtown LA was probably like 14 or something. But anyway.
So yeah, with Strategicon, and then I do have one other table I plan on building, and I think it's going to be another 2024 D&D rules table. And then I'll be back up to my 10 a week, which is where I want to be. I don't want to do any more than 10 a week. So,
what do you do? 2 a day, Monday through Friday, and then take the weekends off, or you have games on the weekends?
No, they're kind of staggered. So like Monday I run 2 games. Tuesday I run 1 game, but I'm going to be adding a second game. I run 2 games on Wednesday. I do nothing on Thursday. That's my day off. I'll run 1 game on Friday. I'm currently running 1 game on Saturday, but I'm thinking of possibly increasing that. And then I run 2 games on Sunday because Brian's in our. And I'm hoping that our Sunday morning game, Brian, might be a time slot that we'll do for live when we're ready for the next campaign. So when me, you, and Charles, and Ben, and Chris can maybe sometime after the fall start talking about the next campaign. I've been getting a lot of interesting ideas and feedback, and I feel very kind of affirmed after watching Todd do his Everything You Need to Know About Campaign 4. I saw the trailer for Dungeon Dudes for Deborah Ann Wall.
Yes. Doesn't it look good?
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
So I'm a lot of what they're doing, I've been kind of doing in a couple of my tables, and now I'm kind of ready to like go all in. But I think it's a good trade. I think anybody watch the reviews or watch the season 4 update that they put out today?
I did. I skimmed it, I read it, and watched a little bit of it. And I guess we're jumping into that topic. Critical Role Campaign 4 details have been most of the details have been announced. So for those of you who may not know, Brennan Lee Mulligan is GMing. And the cast is now at 13 members, and those will be divided into multiple tables, which I actually think is, I guess I'll start with my take on things. West March style, yeah. So this is just my thing. Something about Brennan Lee Mulligan just rubs me the wrong way, and it's totally unfair because it's based on nothing, and I can't even tell you what it is. But just I don't know, just something about the way he presents himself bugs me, and I don't know. It's ridiculous. But I'm obviously going to give him the benefit of the doubt because I do think he is a good DM. I love the fact or the idea of splitting up the table, kind of, it's almost like watching, a series or a movie where you've got different stories going on, but it's all part of the game. So I think that's pretty cool. Got to be honest, pretty disappointed that they chose D&D and not Daggerheart. I don't know if that is throwing a bone to Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins.
I'm wondering if that was decided a long time ago, probably. Or maybe it was like a contract a long time ago or something.
I don't know. I don't know. I do know they are. So Age of Umbra was a like a one-shot series, if you will. But they are continuing that, right? Or they are.
They announced season 2.
So maybe I wonder if maybe they're keeping the core group with Matt and and Marisha and Travis and everybody, and they're going to focus that on Age of Umbra, and Campaign 4 is a little bit more freeform in terms of who's at the table, who's running it, and stuff like that. And I wonder if that's why they chose D&D instead of Daggerheart. That's pure speculation. I don't know, but also a new world. That's kind of exciting.
And it's Brendan's world.
Yeah. So that should be really interesting to see how his world building compares to Matt Mercer's world building. I'm intrigued that Brennan described Araman as the opposite of Exandria. Instead of fighting and removing the gods, fully embracing them, and magic is crazy. Yeah, that's another thing. And again, I'll have to just watch it and see. But kind of to your point, Jason, we talked a little bit about dialing back from the god level world ending, colossal event thing, and going a bit smaller. And I gotta say again, me personally, I'm a little bit disappointed that the first thing they mention is gods and deities again. It's like,
Well, they don't.
No, we just got done with that.
They don't do anything with them though. So the world of Aramea has a pretty deep lore, and within
I'm not going to let you. It's a new word. I'm not going to let you continually fuck it up. So you better.
What? It's not It's not aromatic. I thought it was Araman. Araman.
That's like the gem.
Oh, it does have a hyphen over the A. That's true.
Yeah. I think they said all the gods are dead, though. There are no gods.
Yeah, the world of Araman's already got a complete lore. So when they start their West Marches series within this world, the gods are already dead. They're gone. And the world has functions differently now because what's the afterlife like?
I read it differently. I read it that the gods were still they're dead.
So there was a great war between the population of the world and the gods. The gods were destroyed, and now the world functions very differently because the gods are destroyed. Magic is wild and dangerous and powerful, and there's not really a traditional afterlife, and the discovery of that afterlife is going to play out. And I think it's a bit of a nod. Once again, a continuing nod to Faerun, because the world of Toril started the same way. There were two worlds. There was a mirror world of Toril, and then the true world of Toril. And and here you have Exandria, that is the opposite of Ahriman, and Ahriman is very opposite of Exandria's theme. So I think might be a little bit of a nod in there for that too.
Okay, then actually, I take back what I said. That actually sounds kind of interesting. I think I misinterpreted that. So.
Well, and I think the approach to
barring deeper discussion, that's kind of my take on that announcement.
I'm gonna give it a shot for only two reasons: because I want to watch Matt be a player, and because I love Alexander Ward.
Yeah, Alexander's great. I love watching him.
I definitely want to see Matt play for an extended period of time in a campaign.
I saw Matt play in the Exandria series, and I was like, okay, cool. He's a good player. He's a fun player. Yeah. I'm actually more interested in the other players. Robbie's back. I love watching Robbie play.
Love Robbie.
Whitney Moore, but Alex Ward, I may be watching.
I love him.
So whatever table cycle he's on, I'll probably watch that part of the West March. And that's where I think they hit a genius stroke right there. And that is they're offering absolutely, because what they've done.
Yeah, I think I'm only going to be interested in one of them.
But that's okay. But then
I only get one episode a month to watch.
But Matt said in the interview that he's okay with that, because they are actually playing to a much larger fan base now.
Matt's okay with me only being able to watch one a month. I'm going to have words with him.
I did talk to him yesterday, and he said, it kind of bothers me that Kristen's only going to watch this. So let me.
But yeah, I think I predicted that they were going to play D&D because there was no way that their core base was going to be left out in the cold. As popular as Daggerheart's been in the last 3 months, as popular as its release is, I think at the end of the day, this is them being hopeful. This is them hoping that a new leadership will eventually take over WotC, and that maybe having the dynamic duo of boredom that is now at their company will somehow, foster a creative channel between these. These two things going on. So
it's going to be really fucking funny. Not that they would ever watch this, but it's going to be really fucking funny if I end up working with Perkins or Crawford indirectly on something.
Hey, you know what? Send their complaints my way. I'll be glad to give them feedback.
Oh boy,
it's one of my specialties.
I mean, I get why they are making these decisions. I think Matt needs a break.
Sure.
And deserves a break.
Yeah. Whatever. Brennan's now running 5 games.
Yeah, I think the cast, the core cast, needs a bit of a breather. I think that I agree with you on the D&D thing. It would be, I think, at this time, as much as I want to see it, Yeah, right.
He's literally running. Once he gets season 4 kicked off, he's going to be running 5 tables. So,
my brother joined. Hey, Jordan, what's up? He's over on Instagram.
Oh, yay!
Have you become a nerd?
Is he a younger brother or older brother?
Chronologically younger, but most would argue older in terms of maturity level. So,
yeah,
he's
the brother. He's the son that the family likes.
No, actually,
don't get him going down this path. Let's reel it back in.
He's the son my parents always wanted and never had.
Oh boy, you're triggering his trauma.
I do think that I agree. I think it would be premature to do a full campaign on Daggerheart. I think it's just, it needs to become more enmeshed. People need to become more familiar with the mechanics so that they can watch it that way. So I get it. You know, regardless of the fact that I would rather see him play Daggerheart, I think it was probably the right decision.
And we will see them play Daggerheart. And I think that's why they also went with the West Marches version, so that as a table is playing their arc, which is genius, a table playing its own arc, I think is great. A table of schemers, a table of seekers, it's a great way to introduce West Marches in a much more narrative framework to the world. And I think that's going to help people really realize that their table doesn't have to be this like static kind of situation that they may find themselves getting bored with. Because when the tables cycle, they'll play Daggerheart. They'll play Candela Obscura, or they'll play. So this frees up, the fact that they have all these available players to play all these other games, and it just proves Todd's right. I mean, this proves that Critical Role is a multi, game offering platform. It's their multi-game. They're not locked into one particular game as an identifier of who they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think this will offer an interesting take. Like, one of the things that I've always wanted, I would love to ask the question, is like, there's no acknowledgement of Pathfinder whatsoever in the Critical Role space. Like, it's not even whispered, it's not even mentioned, it's never but that was the platform they played on before they became, Critical Role, like over 10 years ago. They were Pathfinder players because of their disappointment in 4E. But yet during this whole 10-year time period, it's like Pathfinder's not even a footnote like in their kind of pantheon of discussion, which I find really kind of interesting. Says a lot about Pathfinder being more crunchy. And
I don't like the Ottoman Empire. You don't hear about them anymore.
Oh boy!
Even though we put our feet on their Ottomans all the time.
Oh God. Glass Cannon had said they're not doing Pathfinder anymore either.
Yeah. I think
has been their main game for years.
Yeah, I think 2.0 just kind of, unfortunately, they went all in on the crunch.
They're going to Shadow Dark.
Yeah, that's gonna be boring too. I played that game, 40 years ago, so I won't.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who was this? I was fucking around with my stream deck. Who's going to Shadow Dark?
Glass Cannon
is switching over to Shadow Dark. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I may watch it to see how they interpret it and play it, because so far the only thing, and I've mentioned this before, but the main thing that I got out of Shadow Dark was the magic system was great, so I used that as a homebrew, just like in DC 20. I love the 4AP system. We play it all the time on Sundays. Love it. So we pulled that in as part of a home brew. And honestly, it saved our D&D campaign. It made it more fun. It's more pleasurable. It's a lot more fun to play. You don't have to worry about spell slots anymore.
I just had a brilliant idea.
Uh-oh. While he was sipping his
mimosa. Looks like mimosa.
a mimosa. No, it's probably a Bellini. It's probably a Bellini, knowing him.
No, it needs a little umbrella or something. It's a very girly drink.
Well, it's very dregs of an Aperol spritz with some Trader Joe's ginger lemon probiotic soda.
Gotta have the probiotics. You like kombucha? I freaking love kombucha.
Yeah. Just have to know your character sheet. I think that drags us down the most on some.
Yeah, but that's becoming, that's an interesting point, Kurt, because as someone who plays a lot of games a week, and we always take 10 minutes either before or at the end of a session to talk about, the challenges of the session or the challenges. And I go back to Brian's point, and this is so true. Most people enjoy playing levels 3 through 10. After level 10, there's just too much going on in your character sheet. And one of the things I'm introducing in the 4 to 7 p.m. pirate game is that all potions are a free action. We're using the 4 AP system. As long as an action, bonus action, or nothing is mentioned in your ability, obviously it just happens because of your resource management. I'm trying to help people not get bogged down in their character sheet. I'm trying to get them to play with the potions, have fun with the kind of like economy of the world. And I think that's been inspiring through Daggerheart and Knives in the Dark and Candela Obscura to a certain degree, because, that's another resource management game that I really enjoyed playing. I really want to get another table of that going again. That's a real fun system. And I've also been playing on Deme Plane with Daggerheart, and I have Candela Obscura on there. I've had that for a while.
Deme Plane, I haven't delved into it, but their character sheet seems pretty solid.
Oh, it's way better than D&D Beyond. And what's really funny, it's the small things that get you. You think about, we always, like, as GMs, we've all been GMs, we've always thought about what is, for me, it's always been about the great solution to a campaign platform, a platform that's easy to use, it's integrated, stuff can pull in and pull out of it really simply. But Deme Plane put a little thing in their character sheet called a journal entry on the Daggerheart character sheet.
Yes.
And it's dated. It's a dated entry that's auto-dated and auto-saved. So you just type in a quick note.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You just type in a quick note, and the next thing you know, you've got this perfectly organized, date-stamped journal entry
instead of a managed notes section.
With like zero like organization to it. So, it's very, once again, one of the things I think that's very distracting about the D&D character sheet is that it gets so busy later on in the levels. And I'll tell you what, I ran part 1 of a 3-part series with my Wednesday 3 to 6 group for Daggerheart. And we were laughing and we were having a good old fashioned 1982 Jolt Cola pizza, Domino's pizza experience, where we were just laughing our asses off and just having a blast. And you know what I did? You'll appreciate the fact that I did this. I, as part of my Humble Bundle, Humble Bumble. Humble Bumble? It's Humble Bumble.
Right?
Bundle.
Yes, I always had that extra B because I think it sounds cooler. I went and did a dungeon crawl classic. I took the Dragon Fiend Pact module 11 and had a blast. I converted it to Daggerheart. I reorganized it for Daggerheart, and it's an old module from like the early 80s, and it converted super easy, which once again, I think that shows us, like Matt and Todd did an interview, I think 2 days ago. I don't know.
That's true. So Chuck is a friend of mine from high school.
Yeah.
You just described what we were in high school.
Yeah. I mean, but what's funny is Matt and Todd did an interview about 2 or 3 days ago, maybe 2 days ago. And it was all about what Matt's intent for Daggerheart was, what the design intent was for, and what do you think the future of it's for? Because everybody knows that Daggerheart doesn't have any lore. There's no established lore for the system. It is simply campaign frames and a really kind of fun way to build characters and manage characters. There's no real lore in it, like most games try to start with. And he was in the interview and he was like, well, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to give people a kind of peel away game where you could take any setting you want in the worlds and just take this frame and take this character building and put it on top of, you know, anything you want to play and make it fun and make it easy to learn, easy to use, confirming the single book solution. I mean, the single book solution, I think, is still pure genius, which is Knives in the Dark, single book, you know, Shadow Dark, single book. You know, a lot of these single book games, I think, are really hitting that right kind of note of what people are looking for, you know. And Pathfinder's super crunchy. I'm not surprised Glass Cannon's going away from it. That's good news, because that might intrigue me to watch them again. Because I was watching them for Vampire the Masquerade for a while.
Yep.
And then I was watching them when they were doing Alien RPG, which is really kind of fun.
Yep.
And now that I know that they're going to do Shadow Dark, I will watch and see how they interpret Shadow Dark, because you know, fuck off, Pixels.
Oh God.
Xander's here.
Now, see, this is the only thing that worries me about having 13 players. Is I have a hard enough time trying to keep up with the backstories of 6 players.
Yeah, I mean,
throwing lore in and stuff. I was there. Certainly was several times during Critical Role where I kind of like zoned out because I didn't know what they were talking about and started to lose interest because I was just like, I can't get into all this lore. Now there's going to be 13 people with backstories and a bunch of lore.
Well, I mean, I don't think their intent is to be too heavy on backstories and lore.
I hope not.
West Marches is not very forgiving when it comes to heavy backstory and heavy lore. West Marches is more about building the story as you play.
Okay. All right. Well, then I might like that then, because I don't know. For some reason, I can't get into a lot of lore.
Let me comment on that as it pertains to a few things that you've brought up. Jason, you brought up about players losing interest past, you know, a certain level in D&D.
Yeah.
What you just brought up about the lore, what we were talking about, you know, the big world concerning theme rather than, you know, more of the beginning of Fellowship of the Rings where, you know, everything is smaller.
It's about the journey.
It's about the journey.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm actually one thing I am yeah, that was classic, dude. So hit me up later on
yeah, I agree, Charles. I think the most important part about West Marches, it is very easy to slide in guests. It's going to be super easy.
They don't need to have any guests now. Everybody they know is on the show.
Well, but remember, they're running 3 tables, not 2. So they're running 3 tables.
I think utilizing that aspect, I'll be honest, I am mentally exhausted with the super deep, tragic backstories and the depth of emotion in some of these campaigns. I know that's probably a very unpopular statement, but you know, and I'm not saying that I want something lighter that doesn't touch on heavy themes or character death or dark themes or whatever. I'm okay with that. I want a little bit less of the how do I put this? Of the, you know, the really like
the tragic hero.
The tragic hero. It's just after a while, it just becomes exhausting. It just becomes exhausting. And I think part of that also, you know, stems from these grand themes, you know, and how those characters tie in to the lore and, you know, how their backstories, you know, you have to grow because the story is so big. Your character story kind of has to be big to follow that. So I actually am a little bit excited. Yeah, right. Exactly. I was bored.
Can't someone just be the girl who didn't want to be the dairymaid? I love that.
Oh, yeah, I just went out to adventure. The characters should be one-dimensional or very shallow. Not at all. I'm just saying that you can still have depth of character without everybody having to have such a tragic backstory that ends in tears.
Well, now that you bring it up, Kristen, what's your favorite backstory? Like, what's a backstory that you think makes
hold
sense?
Hold on. I do want to hear that. I like that. I like that question. But I guess, what I'm saying is I guess I'm looking forward to this style of storytelling and hopefully alleviating some of that and maybe focusing a little bit smaller. And it's interesting, Jason. I think so. I'm also listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl right now, which is one of the best books I've ever fucking read / listened to ever. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I just started book 6. And Gary was reading, and again, I'm not gonna, no spoilers, but Gary is almost done with book 7, and he made a comment that he's enjoying 7 less because he feels like it's gotten harder for Matt Dinniman to write for the characters once they get super, so powerful.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like the way it's so hard to write for Superman and make a decent Superman movies. There's been like 3 decent ones out of a dozen freaking tries. Because how do you write for that shit?
Yeah.
So
if you're already a superhero, what's the point?
Exactly.
It's not the journey to become that is more interesting.
So I'm kind of hoping that this, and I'm not saying that that campaigns 1 through 3 didn't start small and end up big, but I'm just hoping that they don't get quite as big, if that makes sense, kind of pursuant to all the things that you mentioned. But getting back to that question, which I think is an awesome question, what's your favorite?
Here's the thing, and this is really weird, but I think I literally just realized this. I don't care about backstories that go back too far. I feel like all I want to do is come up with what my character maybe was doing in the last month or so. And I don't give 2 craps about everybody's childhood or, or where they came from or whatever. We did backstories for our Scum and Villainy game. And again, I literally just wrote what she had been doing in the past 30 days before she showed up to this adventure. And that's kind of all I care about. And I feel bad saying that because I don't want to be I don't give a fuck what your character was doing when they were 5. But I really don't. And I just kind of realized that, I guess. I'm just tell me what you were doing in the last 30 days so we can figure out what we're all doing here right now. And other than that, I don't care.
I kind of agree with you to a point. Anything that happens before we started the campaign.
Right.
I think the term backstory sometimes gets morphed into that becomes your character story. Maybe that's what bothers me about it. It's like you're forming a new story. You know what I mean? That should inform your decisions. It should inform the type of character you are. But you're right. As as another player or a viewer, I'm more interested in your journey that I've been a part of.
Right. And even when I'm developing my own character, I don't know. I don't really care about what they were doing more than 30 days ago. I'm I don't want to tell you where they were born and what their parents did because I don't even care.
Well, it's not that I don't care, but it's it's backstory. I mean, it's just that. It's backstory. This is what I was about. This is what led, and it led me up to this point, and now I'm in the game, and now it's about my story and my journey from here.
Yeah, and I'm for mechanics wise, I'm if I have to pick a background to get some mechanic stuff, then fine, I'll pick one. But don't ask me to come up with this big thing about how they got there or whatever. I don't know. There's just something about it I don't like. I just want to play in the moment. I want to play the here and the now and what we're doing right now. I don't care that much about backstories.
Yeah, I think there's 2 backstories that I see now. And I read a lot of them. I often, when a new table starts, I'll read, if I have 1 or 2 tables starting, I'll read 10 backstories to see what's going on. And people really love the feedback. On average, they're maybe 3 paragraphs long, which is not very long. But I think the style of backstory is interesting. There's the one that is already done, like their backstory is concluded. So when they arrive for the journey, they're kind of formed by their finished backstory that they wrote. That way they can kind of journey with the personality of the character as it is, and then see if the journey changes or shapes their character in the world that they journey in. The other backstory is there's little hooks for me to use. There's
what are you pointing at?
Overcooked. Yeah,
backstories are amazing, but sometimes they just get way overcooked.
Honestly, that's the GM's fault. That is purely the GM's fault. It is not the player's fault. It is the GM's fault. The GM needs to help guide players and give them some rails and some boundaries and some ideas about how a backstory may impact the campaign that they're about to play, and give them not specific guidance. Don't tell them how to do it, but give them open table guidance and give them feedback. And if you're a GM complaining about backstories, well, fix it. It's one of your responsibilities as a good GM is to sit down with your player or players and say, cool, let's go through everyone's backstories. And I've done that before, and multiple players who didn't like their own backstories suddenly fell in love with the idea that they all shared a single backstory. Therefore, there wasn't this overly, or to Chuck's point, an overcooked, backstory that's spread amongst multiple players. So I don't fault players one ounce of creativity.
I agree.
And I think if a GM's going to complain about that, then they need to be responsible and be courteous enough to help those players understand why it could be challenging to play with a 5-page novella as a backstory. And the player will learn from that. And that's what this game is all about, teaching and helping people understand, how to come together and play a better game by actually talking and working together and colluding together for that table. If you're that kind of DM that believes there's a brick wall between you and your players, that's fine. That's a play style. That's a very specific play style that you've signed up for. But if you want a table that's going to vibe and have a lot of fun and journey together in a way that's going to be a lot of fun for you to help them on that journey, you can't have that brick wall there. It won't work.
Right. I also like coming up with backstory stuff on the fly.
I love that.
I
absolutely love that. Charles, in our Sunday game, Charles does that shit all the time, and I love it. Charles will be in a situation like we were in the capital city of Suzail in the Kingdom of Cormyr, and I don't remember reading anything about that in his backstory other than there was a sentence that's where he's from. And all of a sudden he knows this person, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to head over to that donut shop and go talk to my favorite baker. And I'm like, oh, thank God for Charles, because now I can pick up a little hook and drop it at the bakery shop and see if anybody wants to run away.
If I write a whole bunch of stuff before the game and then the DM tries to tie some of my backstory into the game, I don't even pick up on the hints because I don't remember what I freaking wrote. You know what I mean? They'll try to sprinkle and I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, that was in your backstory. I'm like, it was? Are you sure?
I just want to respond.
I've had that happen. That's why I don't like them.
I want to respond to Lee's question. So how does that connect to having character arcs? So I don't think that precludes character arcs. I'm not saying that people should not have backstories. I guess what I'm saying is when every character, and I'm picking on Critical Role a little bit here, but when every character has that deep of a tragic backstory, that's when it gets exhausting for me. One or
Laura
two
Bailey's best character was Jester.
Absolutely.
Jester was by far the best character.
Because it was a backstory, but it was a simple backstory.
Not only was it simple, but it was about being naive and believing that all fake creatures are gods, and that you should just trust gods because gods should always be trusted, and they're lots of fun. And her god was the trickster, and she played into that. Her deep backstory didn't matter with Jester. Jester's story was truly the journey. I think that's why season 2 characters were better than season 3 characters. I felt season 3 characters were all deep and and dark. And I never pull Sam Riegel into these conversations because all of his characters are funny as shit. I mean, they're all funny. Yeah. You know, I mean, when you could pull off a character called the Meat Man and it's going to be, you know, become canon in the upcoming animated series. I mean, come on. It's, you know, to me, that's perfect. Like, I've got a player who built a character, a Haragon character, and the Haragon's name is Rabies. And Rabies is a spice addicted junkie. Okay. And he's so drugged and so spice addicted that he can't remember anything about his past, and he doesn't care about his past. That's his backstory.
Memento.
It's genius. That is a genius. Yeah, it's Memento.
Figure out your own backstory.
Yeah, it's a genius backstory because there's plenty of room for hooks, and you know, because he doesn't remember anything. Therefore, I'm like, oh shit, it's a playground for me because I can
love that.
Drop, you know, I could drop a big bat in front of Rabies, and Rabies is like, hey man, he's got like one flopped over ear, a bandage over here. He's like, oh man, yeah, sorry you're trying to kill me, but I just don't remember who the fuck you are, so thank you. And he like just walks right by.
and Chuck, you're right. You're right. People respond, and that's how they connect to these characters with these really deep backstories. And I get that. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I again, this is just me. I'll caveat it by saying it's just me, but I feel like I need a little bit of break from so much. You know, tragic story. It's like
I think with the new season we're going to get that. I think we're going to get very kind of journey based backstories with multiple tables you'll be able to watch and choose which ones you want to watch. You know, pick up on the characters you enjoy watching them have this journey. But I'll go back to you on that one, Brian. I was able to get through the Exandria series because it was a short series, which meant I only had to watch Brendan for a little while. I didn't have to watch him a lot. So it'll be interesting to see. I know it'll be interesting to see if he is any different in season 4.
I'm gonna try.
Well, and to be fair for him, fair to him, I mean, he's got massive fucking shoes to fill. So you know, you can't just say, well, he's not Matt Mercer, because that's
I disagree with that completely. And
how so?
Because Brendan's actually been doing it longer than Matt. Brendan's been a stand-up comedian his whole life. He's been playing D&D longer. He's been more popular on
longer than Matt too.
But in the popularity space, I think Brendan is probably a little bit more popular than Matt when it comes to his content and how long he's been producing content.
Incredibly popular.
Yeah,
incredibly popular.
He really
just not
is
for me.
And I think he's not popular with older generational players. He really is.
I'm sure he's a very nice person. And I'm sure he's an
like I said, the
GM.
only thing that
I'm gonna watch.
I'm gonna try to watch it.
I may end up liking him, but I'm gonna agree to disagree, Jason, on that one. I think filling Matt Mercer's shoes on Critical Role is a huge toll. See, no, I know he's not, but I'm saying some people who may not like the fact that it's him DMing, that might be the reason, whether they admit it or not, because he's simply not Matt Mercer. And that I don't think is a fair assessment.
And there are two things that I've learned from Brennan, but I learned a lot more from Matt because it's a little bit more affirming.
I'm trying to be positive, Lee. I'm trying to be positive.
Right. I think Brennan talks too fast. And Matt talks at a very nice.
That's one thing I like about Matt. He's nice. It's very soothing to me to listen to Matt talk. And when Brendan talks, it like aggravates my nervous system. And I'm like,
Brendan talks too fast.
He's all over the place.
He talks too fast and he's too expositional. Like he wants to tell a 20-minute long story, where Matt will tell a 2-minute story at a very kind of like easy to understand pace. The only time Matt ever speaks fast, and you'll notice, is when he's in a combat round and he wants to describe something that's happening. That's the only time you'll ever see him talk fast.
It'll be fast, but it'll still be like the same tone of voice usually too, though.
Maybe that's it, Jason. Maybe you're right.
I think I'm just too old.
I mean, I don't know if you noticed,
too old
Brian,
for Brendan's energy.
It's possible. I mean, that could be a diagnostic right there. But I mean, Brian, notice in our Sunday games, there's sometimes I just sit there and I don't say anything. waiting for you guys to to do something if you choose to. If the crickets go on long enough, I may pick up the queue and go, okay, cool, they're ready. So let's have let's have the next part of the journey kick off, or some interaction kick off. Usually when I'm speaking in my DM games, in my games, it's usually the same kind of tonality. I try to keep the same pacing. I try to not be too expositional. Like, the only time I really get into a very heavy descriptive narrative is arriving at a new city, because I want to kind of overwhelm the senses and give people time to think about what they're seeing and see if that clicks and creates any kind of narrative points or narrative opportunities.
I try to only put positive things out on the internet. There's so much hate on the internet already.
She's the one that just totally panned him. I'm saying
I said he's a very nice person and a great DM.
Yeah, great. He's a very nice person, but everything else about him sucks, and I hate him.
The word hate never came out of my mouth.
Actually, that's exactly what Brian said.
This conversation
I don't hate him.
Quality.
Now, I want to talk about the other thing that got me super excited, and I will be watching this show when it kicks off, I believe, this fall. Deborah Ann Woll's new series from the Dungeon Dudes. And they will be playing on the Dungeon Dudes YouTube channel.
Brian, did you watch this trailer?
I did not.
I did not. He gets an F in preparation every week.
Oh, he's been getting a D- in prep for the last 4 seasons. Are you kidding me?
I will send it to you.
My favorite is when we're in my favorite is when we're in the green room. He'll just look at me and go, "I got nothing."
Hey, classic.
I've got like 20 pages
classic
of notes.
CEO move. I don't do anything. I don't know anything. I'm not prepared.
So, some guest teasers so far. We've got Will Wheaton.
Yes.
We've got Sean Manjamunda. I can never pronounce his last name.
I don't know who these other people are.
But the fact that Will's going to be there, I think, is very, very good, because I've missed him from the gaming space.
Oh, I love Will Wheaton.
I love him. And he is a very nice person.
And it's called Tales from Wood Creek. And it looks
shitty
like
DM and a crappy player and a horrible actor, but a very nice person.
So it's streaming this fall, and from what I can tell in the trailer, because there's not really that much more information that's been released about it, but what I can tell from within the trailer, it looks like it's a mix of D&D, LARP, and Panic Room, like
kind of like Relics and Rarities was kind of the same way a little bit.
Yeah, but Relics and Rarities didn't do too much of the Panic Room stuff.
No.
A puzzle room or whatever they call those places.
Escape room.
Thank you.
Yeah. I feel like they were trying to start to get into it when the show got like nixed.
Yeah, but I love the LARP vibe. I really do love the LARP vibe. I think that's cool. I love the interactive vibe. I love the fact that the entire set is the playground. So like everything about the set is interactive. I'm probably going to watch that more than I'm going to watch season 4.
I agree.
Because I find that play style to be very familiar. And I find that play style to be a lot of fun to watch, especially if Will Wheaton is rolling dice, because I want to see if the curse remains.
Just had Will's curse carried over to Dungeon Dudes.
Will the curse continue? Well, I mean, I've got a couple Will Wheatons in my groups that can't roll a d20.
Oh, geez.
But speaking of sets, the Critical Role 4 season.
The set looks amazing.
That looks gorgeous.
Yes.
It is very different.
Fantastic.
Very different.
They have some very talented people working on designing and building sets for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, must be nice to have a production team who preps.
Yeah, exactly. Tell me about it.
I agree, Charles. He got a poor Geek and Sundry done give him a poor deal. I think Will Wheaton's popularity, his journey with that show. What's that show again?
Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah.
His nerdism, Star Trek, his open conversation about his depression. You know, and I think his open conversation about his depression, I think, gained him a true following. I think it proved that he was vulnerable, that fame can be toxic, and that your journey in that kind of fame, you're kind of seeking people to heal yourself and to make yourself a better person. And that's very hard to do in an environment where it's all about fame and money and not much else. And so that whole conversation
him on Big Bang Theory. I mean, that is one of my favorite shows of all time, but he was awesome.
Yeah.
On that.
And I think having him back kind of reminds us that hopefully if you've played games in the past, it's okay to come back and play them again. You know, I think socially, we're in the position we are now is because people have forgotten how to play. And I think if people would just learn how to play again and use critical thinking and use their imagination and take time to sit down with people of different thought processes and different backgrounds and different origins of society and just sit and homogenize themselves in a fantasy game, whether it's sci-fi or high fantasy or low fantasy or a board game, a zombicide. I mean, we've had so much fun playing Zombicide, and
I was just going to say, didn't we say we were going to play Zombicide live on the show?
Well, no, we were going to try to play a Warhammer game on Tailspire.
Fucking Warhammer.
Yeah, to prove that Tailspire really is a versatile tool, and we could do it. I mean, I was going through there, and they have just about almost like half of the armies are set up
in an hour show. We could probably maybe get through that turn of Warhammer.
No, I don't know. I've heard the new rules are pretty simplistic.
You let me know when you guys are going to do that one so I can go to bed early.
As much as I love the lore and still paint the minis, I still don't know if I'll play. I just got 10th. I still have the original fucking Rogue Trader book from like 1998 or 2000 or whatever the fuck it was. I've got the 5th edition book from like 2005 or 6 or whatever, and I bought not all, but I bought the 10th edition, which is I think the current as of like not too long ago, like 5 minutes ago. Maybe there's a new version already. But I bought the core book, I bought the Blood Angels book, and I bought the Space Marines book. And the thing about them, I think they may have just changed the rules again.
Yeah, I think they did.
Dear.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is why I don't want to get off on a tangent, but
rant Kim.
Here it comes.
Rant Kim.
Here you go. It's like, are you fucking serious? That's why I'll never fucking play, because they're damn, man. Damn.
Oh boy. I'm also excited that maybe we'll see some new stuff come from Ivan Van Norman too. Has he got some new stuff coming down the pipeline, hopefully? I hope. New games?
He does, but I can't talk about any of it.
I'm sure I understand.
But yes, he does.
That's another company I'm excited to see what's coming.
Hunters Entertainment does have some stuff coming down the pipe.
Fantastic. I'm still reading
for him now. So
nice. That's awesome. I started reading a couple of the books I bought at Gen Con, and I started reading The Last Caravan and Wild Sea, and I am very excited about them both. Wild Sea seems like a really interesting system. I really like it. It's a D6 pool. But then as far as like, it has advantage, but not disadvantage. Like you add more dice to the pool for advantage, but instead of a disadvantage, if something is difficult, you have what's called a cut, and the DM will either make you cut the highest die out of your roll or the highest 2 dice out of your roll, depending on how difficult it was, which is interesting because you still see all the dice that you rolled, and then you're like, oh crap, I gotta cut that 6.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it has some really interesting mechanics.
I am really excited about Outbreak Undead 3E. The newest edition, plus Stronghold comes out in Kickstarter in 2026, and that is one that I will be buying and getting because I want to get an Outbreak table going. I've built my project. I've got the original Outbreak PDF, and I've been constructing it off their most recent edition, which is 2nd edition. But I just love I love the degrees of difficulty check system in Outbreak. I think I
gotta go back and rewatch that. I never watched the whole thing. I watched like a quarter of it.
If you go watch We Are Alive, that's pretty much the system they use. And We Are Alive is an amazing series. totally
I gotta watch that one.
underwatched, underappreciated. Norman did a great job running that game, a genius job running that game. It's kind of like how surprised I was when trying to think. I can't think of it right now. I'm not going to try, but he just did a great job running it. His pacing was great. He had a good knowledge of the rules, and whenever the players were creative, he just let the creativity roll. He was like, "Oh, go for it. Give me a roll with 2 degrees of difficulty," and they roll. Okay, I got 4 degrees of success. Describe for me what happens because you were just incredibly successful in your effort.
Right.
And once again, it throws that role playing back into the lap of the player. And I love that style of play. I think it's a little bit GURPSy. It's got some GURPS vibe to it. But without without the overwhelming crunch of GURPS. I don't know if anyone's ever read a GURPS book.
But I have
reading
one in
ages
behind
ago,
me. I hate
yeah, it's like reading a fucking encyclopedia.
I have 5 versions of GURPS sitting on my library shelf over there. And each one gets more and more of a phone book with each version going upwards, and then of course they introduced, GURPS sci-fi and GURPS heroes and GURPS, they introduced all this content lore of the multi-book struggle that I'm always on. I'm like, don't give me so many books. I just want one book. It's all I want.
That doesn't make as much money.
I know. I get it.
As long as they're useful and good books. Like, to me, if a game is really good, then the more source material, the better. You shouldn't be required to use those books.
Sure.
But I'm okay with supplements and, and
my problem is I like to buy them just for buying them sake. And then they sit on the shelf and I never open them because I have so many. But then I'm like, ooh, but look at all the pretty books I got. And then I'm like, damn it, why did I spend all that money?
I went heavy in on all the 5e shit, 2 copies of almost everything with the alternate covers. That was before that.
You got both copies of everything? Oh crap!
Not everything, but close to it.
We've discussed Brian's
I think we should take his credit
and then of course, when WotC really took a shit and started pissing people off and came out with Spelljammer, I think Spelljammer was the last thing I bought from them, and I was like,
yeah. I think I have that too. That was the last thing I bought too.
Yeah, directly from WotC, I would say Spelljammer, and that was the biggest mistake I ever made because I still have the original Spelljammer book on my shelf. I could have just ran.
In fact, speaking of anybody watching out there, I have an unopened copy of Spelljammer that I could sell you for,
or he'll give you for trade seeds, 4 bushels of avocados for a Spelljammer book. And the other reason why I'm super excited is that Outbreak 3rd edition is already out in beta access. So I already have access to the core rule set that they're working on. So I get to play around with it and, see about putting in a table together. I'm thinking when the Daggerheart team wraps up here on Monday nights, I think we may go zombies for the fall. Maybe play an Outbreak game because we had a lot of fun with Brunoir the Unseen. So that's another game I'm hoping Josh will get done and I can get a copy of that.
It's got potential.
That game really character development. A lot of potential for good character development. Definitely.
I'm very excited because I got an update from Pixels and the dice.
No, you didn't.
Be here in 2027.
No, 2027.
I'm
Shut
joking.
the front door.
Although there was another update with more of just like blah blah blah. I'm like, fuck off. It's funny because going through my Instagram feed and there was another digital die that popped up that somebody's doing a Kickstarter for, and this is actually on one face. It's actually an LCD screen.
Don't buy it.
So like you roll it, and no,
he already bought it. He already bought it, didn't he? Did you already buy it?
No, I looked at that and it gave me heart palpitations. I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm going in on another goddamn $400 set of dice on that shit. And on that note, we did it again. An hour.
My computer is not happy at the moment.
Is it grinding at you or is it overheating?
You guys are all choppy.
Oh, that's not your computer. That's your internet. That's your interwebs.
I did learn my lesson. At least with dice Kickstarters for dice that do anything other than just roll and show you what number is on the plastic face. Yeah. Anywho,
I see.
Hey, Brian, where can we find you?
Jason, you can find me at RPG and Co on Instagram. Shoot me a DM anytime. I love chatting about game stuff. Xander, hit me up on DM. I'm going to send you a coupon for a T-shirt because that comment was just too good. Also, check out playrpgandco.com, which is my website where all my apparel merchandise is, and there's some digital content. Some of it is from Jason. So check that out. Kristen, where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube and TikTok at Kristen's Epic Adventures. Keep it simple, you know what I'm saying?
Jason,
just like our backstories.
Simplicity in all things.
What's the backstory?
TTRPGacademy.life, or you can find me over at Linktree TTRPG Academy with all of my connections. If you go look at my socials, you'll see that I am a horrible social media user. You'll see stuff that's like many months old and without me being involved. Unless you go over to YouTube Reels, I have a lot of fun doing YouTube Reels. They're kind of fun because they're it's fully automated and I don't have to add any more work to my workload.
It's automated. Are we having a show? Are you around next week? When are you going to LA?
Who, me? I don't go to LA until Saturday of next week.
Oh, okay. So
Calista goes to LA Friday. She'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So she's taking all my kit for me, so I don't have to lug it on the train.
Okay. So next Thursday we will have a show again.
Yep. Same bat place, same bat channel.
Brian, TPK.
Tell a story, Jason.
Play a game and
be kind.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, all.